Good evening and welcome to the regular city council meeting for the city of St. Peter, Minnesota. It is Monday, November 12th, 2024. At 7:04 p.m., we are called to order. Would all please rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everybody's received a copy of the agenda for tonight. Are there any revisions or corrections to the agenda? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda as distributed?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion. Oh, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The agenda is approved. Next up, approval of the minutes. The minutes are printed on pages 6 through 9 of the packet. Are there any revisions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor of approval say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The minutes are approved. Next up, we have a public hearing. First public hearing tonight on proposed assessments for non-right-of-way projects and miscellaneous charges. We'll call the public hearing to order at 7:05 p.m. And Sally's here to talk to us about that.
Mayor and City Council, we are here tonight asking for approval of, or have a public hearing. At the October 28th meeting, the City Council approved the public hearing to be held tonight, November 12th, for the assessment of miscellaneous projects and charges. The memo is on pages 25 through 26. The city staff has prepared and sent letters to property owners and also published the public hearing notice in the St. Peter Herald on October 31st and November 7th of this year. The assessments are for non-right-of-way work, for sidewalks, private sewer lines, driveway aprons. All of these have had signed waivers for the work to be completed. The charges are in addition to the curb, gutter, sidewalk, road construction, and utility improvements that were done on Pine Street. There are miscellaneous charges for lawn mowing to be assessed to property owners that are incurred and unpaid. The amount of the non-right-of-way waivers signed is a total of $28,147.45. Lawn mowing is $1,350 for a total of $29,497.45. There are two property owners who have paid the waiver amount for the work on Pine Street in full since we had our meeting. So the total amount of assessments is $23,130.57. After this meeting, and we will be sending final notices to property owners with the cost of the miscellaneous charges and the Pine Street improvements approved on March 11th, 2024. Properties will have until December 27th to pay the finance office without interest. A final list will be taken to the county auditor, or to the county on December 30th, 2024 to be assessed. Any questions?
All right, thanks, Sally. As a part of our public hearing, there is opportunity for public comment. Is there any member of the public who'd like to address the council on this matter? Hearing none, we will close this public hearing at 7:07 p.m. and we will open our next public hearing at 7:07 p.m. And this next public hearing is on proposed assessments for unpaid utility accounts, and Sally's back for that.
Again, Mayor and City Council, at the October 28th meeting, you approved the finance team public hearing to be held tonight, November 12th, for the assessment of delinquent utility accounts as of May 31st, 2024. The memo is on pages 29 to 30. The finance staff, again, prepared and sent letters to property owners and published notices in the Herald on October 31st and November 7th. The total amount of past due utilities as of May 31st, 2024 is $10,315.18, of which $4,193.72 is accessible to property owners. It is $176.71 lower than the October 28th due to some payments by our customers that came in when they received their letters. The non-assessable is for electricity for tenants and balances below $10, bankruptcies, or death, which is $6,121.46. Final letters will be sent to property owners for the unpaid assessable utilities, and owners again will have till December 27th, 2024 to pay at the finance office, the City Hall, without any interest. Final list will be taken to the Nicollet County on December 30th, 2024. Questions?
All right, hearing no questions, there is once again time for public comment if there's any member of the public who'd like to address the council on this matter. Hearing none, we will close this public hearing at 7:09 p.m. We will take both of these matters up under new business later on the agenda. Next up on our agenda, we do have time for visitor comments, both for visitors who'd like to address us on agenda items and visitors who'd like to address us on other matters. Are there any visitors in the audience who'd like to address the council at this time? Hearing none, we will move on to the approval of the consent agenda. The consent agenda begins on page 11 and concludes with a resolution printed on page 24 of the packet. The consent agenda tonight includes the following, the schedule of disbursements for October 24th, 2024 through November 6th, 2024. Are there any questions on any item in the consent agenda? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember DeVos.
Aye.
Mayor Noel.
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Aye.
Councilmember Weisenfeld.
Aye.
The resolution is approved. We have no items of unfinished business before us tonight. We will move on to new business. The first item is a resolution adopting the assessment of unpaid miscellaneous charges. Anything new since you were just up here, Sally?
Nothing has changed. So, as I said, I'm here to ask you to approve the resolution for unpaid miscellaneous charges and assessments on page 27 and 28 of the packet.
For Sally or Todd, anything to add?
No, ma'am.
All right. Hearing nothing further, is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
We have a motion
I'll
and a
second.
second? All
I'll second.
right. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Noel.
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Aye.
Councilmember Weisenfeld.
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos.
Aye.
The resolution is approved. Next up, adoption of a resolution adopting assessment of unpaid charges for municipal utilities and writing off bad utility charges.
Again, we went through that through the public hearing, so we are here asking you to approve the resolution to assess for unpaid utility charges that appears on pages 31 through 33 of the packet.
Questions for Sally or for Todd? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Pettis.
Aye.
Councilmember Weisenfeld.
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos.
Aye.
Mayor Noel.
Aye. The resolution is approved. Next up, adoption of a resolution adopting the 25-26 Environmental Services Fund and budget rate increases. Those are two separate resolutions on page 38 and on 39 through 40.
Mayor Noel and City Council, I'm here presenting the Environmental Services budget for 25 and 26. It is a two-year budget proposal and a rate-setting resolution. The memo and supporting information starts on page 34 of the packet and ends with resolutions on pages 38 and 39 and 40. Services included in the budget for our refuse and recycling collection throughout the community, operation of the yard waste drop-off site, operation of a compost site, curbside waste, leaf pickup, Christmas tree pickup, maintenance of the city, urban forest, tree removal, planting and replacement programs on boulevards, in parks and other public areas, emerald ash borer tree removal and replacements, that's getting more and more of our budget, maintenance of the downtown medians and urns, and the downtown flower baskets. This has not changed. This has been the same, other than emerald ash borer is getting to be more and more of our budget as that disease is impacting our city, unfortunately. Costs and expenditures for services for 2025 budget is $1,502,324, and for '26 is $1,614,879. Revenues from services received are charged to customers through garbage. You have a monthly garbage charge, recycling, environmental services. The city staff has done a great job in applying for grants for Emerald Ash Borer, and in '23 and '24, the city has received $278,000 in grants. We are continuing to look for other grants that are offered through federal and state, but right now, and they are applying for them, but right now in this budget, we aren't seeing any new grants available at this point or that we've been approved from. The last rate increase was in 2024, and the cost for garbage, recycling, and operating costs, wages, insurance continue to increase. Garbage and recycling account for 50.2% of the operating costs for the environmental services in budget 2025 and 48.9% in 2026. This budget aligns revenues collected for garbage and recycling to offset charges from West Central. Their new contract started in July of 2023 and goes through June of 2028. And Minnesota Waste Processing, that is where we actually dispose of the garbage. So those are the two contracts. Disposal rates, again, have continued to increase. The CPI for 2023 was 5.1%. So the rate increase per ton for Minnesota Waste Processing from $106 per ton to $111.50 per ton. We have factored increases in for 25 and 26. We are proposing increases for garbage and recycling January 1st of 2025 and January 1st of 2026. Those can be found on page 35 of the packet or in the resolution on page 39. Again, wages and benefits recorded in areas where the work is actually performed, and it is common for parks and streets and environmental staff to cross over and assist depending upon their work schedules and what's going on. Emerald Ash Borer, again, is a management plan and is being followed by the Public Works team, and we're trying to get as many grants as we can to offset that. Capital plan for 2025, there's a need for $21,000, and in 2026, it's $81,000 of capital, of which $70,000 for a Toyota Hino replacement is going to be on an equipment certificate for $70,000. Tree and bush site is very important. As if you went by the last couple weekends, it's pretty full on Monday mornings. People do use that. And then we do collections with West Central and Minnesota Waste Processing. As usual, the approval of the budget does not allow for purchases of large items without additional city approval. Budgeted items over $25,000 will be presented to the city council before the final purchases. Total increases proposed for residential customers are on page 39 of the packet. We do have empty homes or vacationers or snowbirds that can remove their garbage and recycling if they're gone for more than 2 months at a time, or over 1 month, and then but environmental services are not removed. The fund balance after the rate increase that is proposed is projected to be a deficit of $177,408 at the end of 2025 and $23,571 at the end of 2026. This is below our reserve balance of 4 months of operating expenses, which is $497,560. This will mean that there will be more rate increases coming, but we are slowly but surely working towards that goal for 27, 28, and 29. In 2027, at the end of 2028, right now, the balance will become $198,836. We continue to review the services offered and looking at possible more food waste composting, Emerald Ash Borer as that becomes more and more. I'm asking you to approve the resolution on page 38 for the budget for 2025 in the amount of $1,502,324 for 2025, and for 2026, $1,614.79. Questions?
Questions for Sally? Brad?
I'd just like to make a comment. Thank you, Sally, for the presentation. And for people who are watching, while it doesn't seem like we have much discussion, we have gone through 2 workshops with these figures, and revisions have been made, and I think you did a great job presenting this tonight, Sally, so.
Thank you.
Additional questions or comments? Hearing nothing, our first resolution adopting the 25-26 environmental services budget, service fund budgets is on page 38 of the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Weisenfeld.
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos.
Aye.
Mayor Noel.
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
The resolution is approved. Our next resolution, unless you have additional comments, the resolution adopting updated environmental services rate schedule appears on pages 39 through 40 of the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember DeVos.
Aye.
Mayor Noel.
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Aye.
Councilmember Weisenfeld.
Aye.
The resolution is approved. Thank you, Sally. Moving on, our next item of new business is the adoption of a resolution authorizing the purchase of a 6-ton asphalt patching trailer, and Pete is here to talk to us about that.
Madam Mayor and City Council, as you know, for the last couple of years, we have been looking for a pan patch trailer or a trailer that we can use to patch asphalt on streets. The crew has found one, and based on how we've determined our maintenance programs moving forward, our goal would be to purchase this, have it delivered by spring, so that we may participate in some patching of potholes and other minor deficiencies as they appear. This unit is looking at being purchased off of the state bid, so it's something that we've done in the past. We do have money in the equipment certificate, the 2022 equipment certificate, in the amount of $60,000, and we would be asking for $7,374 through the 2025 budget. When the trailer is delivered, we would pay the remaining balance in cash.
Pete?
We have been renting and borrowing from different contractors and MnDOT.
Additional questions? We like having the picture in the packet, Pete, so thanks for that.
Thank you.
That would be great. If I have an invite, I would take you up on that.
We have some OSHA things and safety issues we have to make sure that we're covering.
Always offer, always offer.
We have sidewalk supervisors.
Any additional questions or comments? Hearing nothing, the resolution authorizing the purchase of a 6-ton asphalt patching trailer is on page 44 of the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Noel.
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Aye.
Councilmember Weisenfeld.
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos.
Aye.
The resolution is approved.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pete. Next up, adoption of a resolution accepting bids for Parkview Manor roof and air exchange project.
Mayor, members, this is a project that's been on the docket for a while, and this passes through the city, even though the HRA operates in many ways autonomously. This is passing through the city because funding was provided to the city, and you have two primary sources of funding. One is provided through the federal government, through a congressional earmark, and the other is through the state of Minnesota. And so those are the primary funding sources. Additional money would come from the HRA, the Housing Redevelopment Authority, or what we commonly call Parkview Manor. You'll see as a part of the information provided that there were 6 bidders, 5 of which met the requirements for the bidding process, which is outlined within your packet. You'll also see a recommendation from the HRA recommending what is then the apparent low bidder, which is GOG Sheet Metal. You'll also see a recommendation from the engineering consultants on this project, Inspect, who have done lots of work for you related to roofs and air exchangers on large buildings. And so you'll see that they have reviewed the documentation provided for the specifications and provided for the bidding process. Happy to answer any questions that you might have, but the resolution is included on page 50. You'll see the resolution anticipates an approval of GOG Sheet Metal for $1,119,200, again, with HUD funding, state funding, and any additional resources through the HRA. Again, I'm happy to answer any questions that the council might have.
Questions for Todd? Fred?
Have you worked with GOG Sheet Metal before?
Yeah, they've actually done some projects, and in fact, just recently they did your library project for for you. We have worked with them. We have no concerns, neither does your engineering consultant on this project.
Thank you.
I was gonna say, the other thing with GOG, they had their subcontractors listed, and it was all subcontractors that we had worked with as a city
Great.
before.
Yep.
So it was top to bottom people that we were familiar with.
Good to know.
This is the project that we talked about when we toured this about 2 or 3 years ago, correct?
This has taken a long time to move forward, really receiving approval from the feds and the state for some of the, making sure that we're meeting all the requirements relating to the grant dollars that are provided. This is a very important project for this facility.
Greatly needed.
Yeah,
Greatly needed.
greatly needed, and so we'll be stretching those dollars as far as we can on this project for sure.
Wonderful, glad to see it coming together.
Any additional questions or comments?
It's gonna be starting in the spring.
Starting in the spring would be the plan.
Done by, I think, the end of July, I think was the.
That's the goal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alrighty. There's no further questions or comments. The resolution accepting bids for Parkview Manor roof and air exchange project appears on pages 50 through 51 of the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Pettis,
Aye.
Councilmember Weisenfeld,
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos,
Aye.
Mayor Noel.
Aye. The resolution is approved. Moving on, our next item of new business, adoption of a resolution establishing the position of Sustainability Communications Coordinator and pay equity points.
Mayor members, this is an item that you've discussed on multiple occasions over a couple of budget cycles and have asked that the staff move forward to provide for this position. Part of the process for that includes having an appropriate job description. So if the council should choose to approve this job description or something substantially similar to this, we would move forward with the recruitment process and start this position sometime in 2025, likely within the first quarter. The information starts on page 52 within your packet, and it's the goal of this position to do a couple of things, one of which is to make sure that we can continue to move sustainability projects and programs forward within the community of St. Peter. As we've talked about on many occasions, to make this move forward at the speed and at the amount that the council has desired, we need additional horsepower to make this go, and I believe this provides that horsepower and provides, at least from a job description standpoint, the necessary requirements, both minimum and desired qualifications, to be able to do that. In addition, the council has talked about ensuring that additional communication is provided, not just in the area of sustainability, but in other areas in reaching out to your community. And so this also does that. We've talked on numerous occasions, and I think I've explained my thinking related to why these two are connected. Buying a half a can of pop or not, what abilities we have currently, what we don't have, how this might change in the future as we recognize or see additional opportunities within either of these two really important job functions. But the request tonight is to approve the job descriptions that's included within your packet, starting on page 54. The resolution is on page 57.
All right, questions or discussion? We have discussed in workshop this and the next two position descriptions, so I appreciate that staff took some of our comments and made the revisions that we requested, so.
Madam Mayor, if I could, it might be important to note that new job descriptions come to the council, or job descriptions where pay equity or comparable worth points change. Other job descriptions can be approved administratively based on your policy. Again, happy to answer any questions that folks might have.
Questions for Todd? Hearing no questions, the resolution establishing the position of Sustainability Communications Coordinator and pay equity points appears on page 57 of the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Weisenfeld,
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos,
Aye.
Mayor Noel,
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Resolution is approved. Next up, we have a memo on pages 58 through 59 of the packet that addresses the next two positions that we're going to discuss, the first of which is the accounting technician and the second is the office coordinator in Public Works.
Madam Mayor, Pete is here if you have any other technical questions, since this is within his department. You talked about this previously at workshop. This is more than just modifications to job descriptions. This is an organizational change to help streamline activities within the Public Works office area. This really presents itself through a couple of opportunities that we have, which include a resignation for a new job at a different location and a retirement coming up. And so this is a great opportunity for us to rethink how the information and documentation flows through that department and the job requirements for this. As we've talked about, there are a number of different ways that we could certainly slice and dice this, but I think from my perspective, and I know from Pete's perspective, this is an appropriate way to provide for some efficiencies that we would like to see and providing support to some of the additional positions, namely superintendents and others within the Public Works Department. Again, this is included within one memo, but there are two job descriptions here. One is an accounting technician, and the second is an office coordinator. We think that these can work in tandem with the third office support position that we have there, and we think this is a wise and smart plan. We do not see any additional or anticipated additional fiscal impact. We believe it can be handled within the budget that you have currently in place. I'm happy to answer any questions, or if you have something more technical, like where's everybody going to sit and all those kind of things, Pete can answer that. Again, this is not new FTEs. This is providing for the same number of FTEs that are currently in place supporting Public Works.
Questions for Todd or for Pete on either of the two positions? Hearing nothing, we'll move to the resolution, the first resolution establishing the position of accounting technician and pay equity points. That's on page 63 of the packet.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember DeVos.
Aye.
Mayor Noel.
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Aye.
Councilmember Weisenfeld.
Aye.
The resolution is approved. Next up, our next resolution establishing the position of office coordinator and pay equity points appears on page 67 of the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Noel.
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Aye.
Councilmember Weisenfeld.
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos.
Aye.
The resolution is approved. Next up, adoption of a resolution establishing the position of community development specialist and pay equity points.
Mayor, members, this is a position that you've talked about at a workshop, and as you know, when we have pending retirements or separation of employment, we review job descriptions. This is the case for this position as well. This would not be an additional FTE. This is using the same FTEs within this department. This is really moving a position that we have currently up a little bit to expect other requirements from them and really providing for additional hierarchy within the department, and as that relates to job description and job tasks. Again, I know you had lots of discussion about this, and there's some comparison data with other communities, which I think is important to note. But our request tonight is for you to approve the attached job description, which we would put into place when a vacancy occurs within this department. The resolution's included in your packet. I believe that resolution is on page 74, if I remember properly. Yep, thank you, ma'am.
All right, any questions for Todd? Hearing nothing, the resolution establishing the position of community development specialist and pay equity points is on page 73 of the packet. You were really close.
I was really close.
You were really close. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Weisenfeld.
Aye.
Councilmember DeVos.
Aye.
Mayor Noel.
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Aye.
The resolution is approved. We're going to move on to reports. I have nothing to report tonight. Are there any council members who'd like to make a report? Hearing nothing. City Administrator, do you have a report for us
No, in the
tonight?
interest of time for the mayor and council, I don't have anything else to report tonight, but I do have a request, which is where we get to page 74, which is the request for a closed session. You'll see that request is to discuss union negotiations with LELS, and is provided for under Minnesota Statute 13D. I would anticipate that we would only come back into regular session to adjourn, so no additional action in regular session other than to come into open session for adjournment. Madam Mayor, I'm happy to answer any questions, and I would anticipate that as you go into closed session, we would go to the Traverse to Sue room, which is our practice, and then again, only coming back into regular session for adjournment.
All right, any questions for Todd about that? All right, hearing nothing, the resolution calling for a closed session is on page 74 of the packet. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in, call the roll, please.
Councilmember DeVos.
Aye.
Mayor Noel.
Aye.
Councilmember Pettis.
Aye.
Councilmember Weisenfeld.
Aye.
All right, the resolution is approved, and at 7:33 PM, we will adjourn into closed session.